What's up, everybody? My name is Godzi, and welcome back to another episode of Umineko When They Cry Answers Arc. Last episode, it was decided that Erika and Battler shall be married. Well, it was decided by Burncastle, but it's like, I mean, there's not much higher authority you can find than witches in this world, since there's... Well, there is actually indication that there's stuff above witches, like gods and whatnot, but it's like they don't seem to involve themselves at all. Probably at some point one will in episode 7 or 8, I guess, but whatever, there's none present yet as far as we know. So, yay. Also, the final battle, or the final trial of love that Zepar and Furfur are having is about to go underway, as Shannon and Kanon are about to just duel Western style, and one of them's gonna die, or possibly both. I imagine one of them's gonna die, rather than both. As for which one will die, I'd want to guess Shannon, because I feel like Kanon's not really had as much time as Shannon on screen, but I don't know. Either way, let's continue. The cathedral was beautifully decorated for the wedding between the territory lord, Lord Battler, and Lady Erika. Goats, goats, goats. A crowd of guests wearing goat masks filled the cathedral, waiting for the arrival of the bride and groom. As befitted a demon's wedding, it was neither solemn nor quiet, but cheery and noisy, brimming with activity. I wonder what Beato is doing. I hear she has gone to see Zepar and Furfur. Since that powerful pair controls love, they could force even a demon king to retreat. I do hope they prove to be helpful in some way. I don't think we've seen Virgilia at all this chapter. We saw Ronove and Gap, but I feel like we haven't seen Virgilia in forever. Oh, speaking of Gap, I know all about those two. I think you know as well as me that they won't hand over their power easily. True. However, that is precisely why they are capable of granting a power that can lead to miracles. At any rate, if we can just free Battler's heart from that closed room, we should be able to manage something here. Closed rooms are your favorite, are they not, Gap? Can you think of any tricks? This is a nasty one. Battler and Erika have been dropping red truths all over the place. I can say for certain that it's impossible to escape from the inside on one's own. So after all, the only way to have someone else trade places with him is set the chain. If someone does appear like that, saving Battler should be easy. There's a full 11 people, right? Those 11 people are sealed on the second floor of the guest house. If we could somehow slip them out of there. I don't know which of those two is speaking. I see. Solving the problem of Battler's closed room is equivalent to solving the problem of either closed room on the guest house's second floor. Except the tape seals count as the red truth. But was there specifically a red truth that said these rooms are completely sealed? I don't remember if there was. Like, they just said the room is sealed by the tape, but I don't know if that was said in the red truth. Exactly. Limiting your thoughts to just Battler's guest room would be like getting trapped in a mental closed room of your own. The closed room we need to break open to save Battler isn't the guest room. It's the closed rooms in the guest house. Oh, hold. Johanna's wearing glasses all of a sudden. Okay. Most unfortunately, we of Journey Jungfrau have been placed in charge of the 2 rooms in the guest house. And you guys specialize in seals and barriers. However, that was quite impressive, Miss Gap. You realize that the closed room you should destroy to save Battler is in the guest house. The ceremony will begin soon, so why not reconstruct the scene as a way to kill time until then? Are you sure about this? Doesn't this violate the obligation of confidentiality you have as Lady Erika's pieces? That is no problem. Surely, if you first have the seals around the scene confirmed and fall into despair, you'll be able to celebrate the ceremony more sincerely. How confident! I'll take that challenge. Leah, let's have ourselves a little snack before the ceremony. With that, dear ladies of Izerne, we humbly ask that you reconstruct the scene for us. We hear and obey. Okay. This is the cousin room. The next room over has the exact same layout. Carry out your inspection however you please. This room has Genji, Goda, Kanon, and then Kraus, Rudolph, and Jessica for a total of 6 people. The next room over has Hideyoshi, George, Shannon, Kumasawa, and Nanjo for a total of 5 people. Don't be stupid, everyone. Who's in this room doesn't matter anymore. We need to find out how to escape from it. It's weird specifically how they have Kanon and Shannon in different rooms, because if they are the same person, then clearly there's a contradiction there, and one of the two isn't in these 2 rooms. However, Battler did say everyone else is in the cousin room, specifically, instead of saying this list of people are in this room. So, either way, everybody is in either the room, the next room over, or in the guest room. I mean, the cousin room. You're right. The door and windows are sealed, so we must somehow escape from some other place. You know what? I know all about how you heaven people like to use momentum to dodge issues. This is no closed room, right? Please, allow me to speak. Let it be known that the closed rooms in our charge are perfect. You were in charge of the window seal of Kinzo's room last game, right? Just how did Battler let Kinzo escape from that room? That was no fault of Cornelia's. The blame rests on her superior, me. This is exactly the same as Kinzo's study. It's the windows. This closed room can be broken by the windows. This trick of yours is just plain obvious. How? Lady Erika sealed the entire room, right? That means the entire room is sealed, including the windows. I see. It would seem that we have been misinterpreting the definition of these seals. How exactly? Closed rooms sealed by packing tape are not impossible to break. Yeah, that's true. And there wasn't a red truth that said all the seals are still there. They form no prison. That's it exactly. Seals definitely prove that a room is a closed room. However, they don't prove that the room will remain as such. They only prove that the room is a closed room as long as the packing tape is not broken. We are not trying to deceive you in any way. As long as the packing tape is intact, they are guaranteed to be closed rooms. That is all. Then why the windows? Or is it that we can break this closed room with the windows? Well, in reality, I guess Erika might have not decided to put tape on the windows because she's just like, what fucking idiot's gonna jump out the window? George? It's simple. We just tear the packing tape apart and jump out. I don't know what the outside wall of the guest house is like, but it must have enough of a foothold for that girl to crawl up it and stick packing tape on the outside without anyone noticing. Well, that's also true. If you break the packing tape, we will immediately know that the seal has been broken. And we have already proven that the seals were intact at the time of Battler's logic error. Did you? Yeah, okay then. True. It's true that at that time you proved that the seals weren't broken. That's how you tricked us into thinking that these were closed rooms. The logic of seals equals closed room doesn't always apply. Gab's specialty was dealing the finishing blow in closed room mysteries. She leaned back and looked down at the short Delanner, as though a challenge such as this was like taking candy from a baby. Delanner looked up at her with a bold expression, and sparks flew between them. What do you mean sealed equals closed room is wrong? That's insane. Remember, Leah? Which seals did Erika and the others show us at that time? Which seals did they show were still intact? I see. This is a sort of falsification that the Great Court of Heaven likes to practice. Yeah, they didn't show the windows. I cannot let that remark pass. What is your complaint? Come on, I've been saying it the whole time. It's the windows. It's true that you people used those seals to seal them in. That included the windows. And at that time you added those seals that counted as proof. So far, so good. But you know what? After that, anyone in this room could have done it. Who was here again? Genji, Goda, Kanon, Kraus, Rudolph, and Jessica. Not Rudolph, I don't think. It could have been any one of them. All they had to do was tear the packing tape on the window, slip out from there, and save Battler. Wait, what? Was that the correct... No, that is the correct combination of people. Yeah, I'm stupid. But at the time of the logic error, it was proven that the seals were intact. Yeah, the time of the logic error, right? Incorrect. At that time, Lady Erika only verified the status of the seals on the doors. Yes, come to think of it, at that time, Lady Erika just showed the doors of the two rooms and claimed that the seals were intact for each. She never mentioned the seals on the windows. That's correct. It's probably true that the seals on the doors and windows were perfectly secure when they were added. However, at the time of the logic error, it only confirmed the status of the seals on the doors. In other words, since the time Erika left the guest house, it was not forbidden for someone to break through the windows and leave whenever they wished. What do you say? I've got you now, haven't I? This is how you do things. Commander Designer, it's nearly time. It seems the bride and groom have arrived. This ends our chat. We will meet again later. Pfft. With a happy-looking grin on her face, Delanner turned around. But that must have hit her where it hurts. Gap wouldn't let her get away. She grabbed the other's shoulder. Wait there. Tell us whether or not the seals on the windows were still set at the time of the logic error. If you don't, anyone in that room could have saved Battler. And who do you think would have been capable of such a rescue? It doesn't matter who. Then just by personal preference, I'll name Kanon. He seems agile, and hiding his presence is his specialty. He's the perfect person to follow after Erika and quickly come to Battler's rescue. Kanon? Impossible. Impossible? Come now, we can't trust what you say with normal words. Use the red truth. Sir, upon that red longsword of yours. Miss Gap, a sacred wedding is about to begin here. You asked me to draw my sword in a sacred place such as this? How inelegant and rude. Let's do this some other time. Goodbye. Oh boy. It's possible for Kanon to save Battler. After Erika sealed the room, he left by the window, switched places with Battler in the guest room, set the chain lock, and hid in the closet. Impossible. The window seals were also intact. Of course, this is at the time of the logic error. Gap's rapid reverse roundhouse that followed her blue wedge, crossed with Duenner's red longsword, and both pointed at the other's throat. The once peaceful mood of the wedding broke apart. Several goat guests whispered to each other, wondering why those two seemed to be fighting. Oh boy. Okay, so you can counter that. Why didn't you just say so in the first place? We thought that Beatrice might eventually reach that thought, then barge in on the wedding with that as the key to Battler's escape. I did not think that you would press us first, and force us to show our hand. You do fight dirty, don't you? You were trying to trap Beato by making her suspect the windows, then turn the tables on her. What else should a human who guards the bride be expected to do? Are you satisfied now? A demon world-style wedding truly is vulgar and barbaric. Break through the wall. Did she put seals on the walls? If you just fucking smash the wall to bits and leave through a parallel room or an adjacent room, you win. If you would excuse us. It's probably a really dumb guess. I've made guesses about breaking through the wall before, but still. Wait up, you haven't fooled me yet. When you mentioned window seals just now, you were talking about the ones on the room where Kanon was, the cousin room, right? Then what about the windows on the next room over? All you've done is shown that the rescue would have been impossible for Kanon. There's still a chance for the humans in the next room over. How very persistent. I mean, if Shannon and Kanon are the same person, then Kanon is in the next room over. Oh, what the? Oh, hello. Hi, Chester. Chester 00. We apologize for our rudeness. We're the Chester Sisters Imperial Guards in charge of security at this ceremony. I'm afraid I must ask you both for your stamped invitations. To Leonard A. Knox. I'm with the bride's party. Here is my stamped invitation. Also, here are my credentials as a bodyguard to the bride. Confirmed as Chief Knox. Welcome to Lord Battler's wedding. I'm Gop. I'm with the groom's party. Here's my invitation and... ah, crap. You didn't get it stamped at the reception desk, yeah? I came here directly, so I didn't go by the reception desk. It's still unstamped. Why do you always have to do that at times like this? Gop, my apologies, but we'll have to ask you to come with us to a different room. Delaner watched, shrugged, and turned away. Wait there, Delaner! Respond to my blue truth! If you want the opinion of the Great Court of Heaven, please fill out an application in accordance with the court procedures. Allow me to speak. Know that the ticket window is open from 10 to 5 on weekdays. Lunch break runs from 12 to 1:15. Allow me to speak. Know that the use of whiteout or strike-throughs is not permitted when filling out forms. Okay. There's a rumor that they refuse Comic Cat applications for the same thing, yeah? That's an urban legend. Probably. Let us provisionally accept that blue truth verbally. It'll be put on hold until the proper forms are received, and duplicate submissions are not allowed. I don't understand. Can you respond to my blue truth, or can't you? If you fill out the application on Monday, we should be able to have an answer for you by the end of next month. Duplicate submissions are forbidden, so the blue truth you just spoke will be unusable during this wedding ceremony. This is in accordance with the laws of evidence from the official Great Court regulations. Article 214, Section 15, regarding the prevention of duplicate submissions. I don't know which one's talking. Please, allow me to speak. Know that it is forbidden for blue truth to be used if based on the argument that the window seals of the next room over were torn at the time of the logic error. Why? Please, allow me to speak. Know that the opposing side is under no obligation to respond to the aforementioned blue truth. Cowards? Hey, let's go of me, rabbit band! The Chester sisters led Gap away. Just when she thought she'd reached the core, they had underhandedly refused to respond. Huh. However, this is a big clue. There's a chance that the window seals on the next room over have been broken. In other words, it might be possible for Hideyoshi, George, Kumasawa, Shannon, or Nanjo to save Battler. And yet just now, that move was sealed away. The use of any blue based on the window seals on the next room over might have been broken has been prevented. It's now impossible to claim that the 5 who could have saved Battler were the ones who did it. What the hell? That's low. That's the answer, isn't it? I also noticed that they hadn't proven that the window seals were intact. But if they can't use the blue truth, what are they supposed to do? Yeah, I know. I'm sure you're laughing at me again because you alone have discovered the answer. My apologies, child of man. I'm having trouble just as you are. I can't believe I'm hearing you say that. I also realized the windows of the next room over were left available. However, I hadn't imagined that the use of that argument would be prevented. Doesn't this seriously violate the rules? I mean, how can a quiz be fair if you can't say the right answer? Isn't this a logic error for the other side? We can also view the fact that the tale is continuing as proof that it wasn't a logic error. In other words, there's some other answer completely unrelated to the windows of the next room over. Or it may be possible to explain, without discussing the windows, how one of those 5 came to Battler's rescue. If they can't talk about the windows, they'll have to find a different way to leave that room. That practically makes the next room over a closed room. Yes, that is why I am also stuck. Because of these strange seal proclamations, the 2 rooms have once again become closed rooms. Most likely what? If you're so vastly intelligent, what kind of answer have you found? There is no answer. No answer? What do you mean? There's no way out except for the windows of the next room over. And yet we are not allowed to include those windows in our reasoning. There probably is no answer for this closed room. And if so, what next? Since no answer exists, then defeat is absolutely certain for whichever player is burdened with the responsibility of explaining. So we have no moves left. In other words, that statement of Delanner's was the final blow? Doesn't that make it checkmate? No, one move does exist. However, that move is one that can never be used again. And it is also a part of Beato's heart. You mean one of the greatest riddles of this tale? Precisely. By using that, or possibly. Feather sighed deeply. It was something she hadn't done once before now. I see. So as long as this tale has been, it's finally time for the curtain to close. Exposing the answer to this riddle means the same as finally killing Beato. Okay. But perhaps Battler is the only one qualified to make that decision. If he weaves such a tale as the Game Master, no one will be able to stop it now. The greatest riddle of this tale will probably be revealed very soon. A deep sound reverberated through the cathedral. It was the sound of the several dozen Chester Sisters Imperial Guards. There's several dozen? Okay. Members of the Honor Guard, who stood in a line across the cathedral and stamped their heels in unison. It brought about total silence even before the demons running the ceremony spoke. Oh, great. Let us have silence, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the wedding of Lord Battler, Territory Lord and Golden Sorcerer, and Lady Erika, the Witch of Truth. Zeepar and Furfur had appeared in the center of the cathedral. Having them invited to host the wedding was a great honor. Though they had asked for silence, the attendants who packed the cathedral welcomed the two demons with an enormous applause. Oh, it's Zeepar and Furfur. Then what about Beato? She may have already snuck onto the grounds. They searched for Beato in the crowd of several hundred people, but they couldn't find her anywhere. I wonder if Beato managed to find a way to save Battler. If she managed to gain Zeepar and Furfur's power, then I'm sure she has. There exists no miracle that cannot be gained after receiving their strength. And if she didn't? Then that goat biting its handkerchief over there is probably her. Then let us welcome the bride and groom. Please give them a grand welcome and celebrate them as they start on their new life. Come out, bride and groom. Walk the path of the shackles called marriage, which will bind you until the grave. The big doors in the back of the cathedral slowly opened. Yep, he's still empty. And she's still smug as shit. And then, the Territory Lord and his beautiful bride came into view. Arm in arm, the pair slowly began to walk down the path to the grave lined with red carpet. Why is there an apostrophe after grave? The Chester Honor Guard stood at attention along either side of that path, raised their adorned bayonets with mechanical precision, and made sure that no evil could block the path that the pair walked down. Chester Sisters that weren't part of the Honor Guard were stationed all over the cathedral, hiding behind pillars and the like, keeping an eye out for any intruders. Below, calling 45 and 410. Any irregularities? Ceiling snipers all clear, yeah? Oh god. 410 and 45 were on top of a massive chandelier hanging from the cathedral's ceiling. Several other sniper pairs could be seen stationed on top of other chandeliers. This seemingly festive cathedral was actually being heavily guarded in places that the attendants wouldn't notice.
Currently, we are simultaneously targeting 36 attendants suspected of being Lady Beatrice, as well as 131 in positions from which an attack might be launched. Surveillance in progress.
Don't let your guard down. Lady Beatrice will almost certainly stage an attack on this wedding.
That'd be so cool. Breaking in to steal the bride, yeah? 410, he's the groom, not the bride. But he's playing the bride's part, yeah?
The Chester sniper teams on the chandeliers used super high efficiency observers to track the movements of the several hundred attendants. If any one of those made any suspicious movements, the Chesters have been given permission to fire immediately. The one on that chandelier is Chester 127. That overkilling monster sniper could pulverize a human target from 2 kilometers away. The one on the chandelier across from that is Chester 20. Her firing rate is 6,000 shots per minute. However, she's using a portable magazine this time, so 2 seconds is all it'll take for her to use up her ammo. Lazy bum can barely do her job for 2 seconds, yeah. Slowly, and making a show of it, the two walked down the red-carpeted path. Battler's eyes were blank. If you look closely, you can probably tell that Erika was dragging him by the arm she held. In other words, they weren't walking together. This was a ceremony for Erika to show off to everyone that this man belonged to her. Behind the bride and groom walked the 7 Sisters of Purgatory, who held long ceremonial arms in the shape of the one-winged eagle.
That moron Battler! What's he lazing about for? This is why people call him incompetent. I can understand Beatrice's pain better than anyone else.
It's all because that stupid Battler caused a logic error. Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Beatrice will not fall to sloth and let this wedding go on.
Of course, Beatrice is greedy. She won't let someone else take away her favorite toy. She'll definitely show up.
I hear the reception's gonna have tons of delicious food. I want to wear a wedding dress, now!
Burncastle and Lambda Delta were in the noble seating on the balcony. They were sipping some bizarre carbonated cocktails as they looked down upon the show.
What a splendid wedding dress! I love stuff like this.
This is just the opening performance.
That's pretty cruel. Which event do you think will be the headliner? Don't tell me you really think Beata will come. As you know as well, Battler's closed room is perfect. How could Beata win? Right?
You must have heard too. There's a chance that the window seal in the room next door has been torn. It seems that Duenna has managed to seal that path off for now, but she just denied the concept instead of sealing the actual window. It'll fly out the window again. This one-winged eagle thing.
Wanna bet?
Whether Beato comes.
I bet she comes with certainty.
I bet she comes miraculously.
This isn't going to work.
The Witch of Certainty and the Witch of Miracles were both sure that Beato would come. However, they were very interested in exactly how she would break the closed room and take Battler back. You've been watching from behind the scenes, so you probably know. You know what the trick is.
More or less. But Erika's done a hell of a job, so now even I'm stumped.
Liar.
Huh?
I'm sure you found one already. There does exist a trick that can save Battler, right?
There does. But it's tough.
And if that move is used, a part of Beato's heart will be exposed. Isn't that right?
Oh, so you already know.
Hey, wanna change our bet?
To what?
To whether Beato or Erika wins.
Sure, if you're willing to bet on Erika.
I'll do it.
Oh, you are betting on Erika? Why do you think you can win?
If this trick is a part of Beato's heart, then Battler, the Game Master, will hesitate at exposing it. And so, they cannot win. It will probably be a draw. I'm sure they'll sidestep the issue somehow and run away.
Battler has sworn to let Beato rest in peace. Burn, you're being too naive. The bet was made, based on the assumption of that certain miracle, that Beato would come. Virgilia, who was standing in the front row, tried to call out as soon as Battler walked by.
She tried to tell him that the windowsill in the next room over hadn't been checked, hoping that this would give him a hint. However, she had been marked perfectly. The instant she tried to lean forward, two Chester sisters right behind her grabbed her arms. That powerful force told her that she wouldn't be able to move even a step forward. Trapped, she was forced to stand there and watch as Battler walked past. Battler? Even now, he is fighting in that closed room all by himself. However, he cannot get out by his own power alone. Unless someone comes to save him, he cannot get out. Unless that child comes to save him, Battler would be trapped. If there is a key to that closed room, I am certain Milady will find it. Milady, I am sure you have gone through many trials in your life. But please, this is one trial that you must overcome. I am certain that you can do it. I, Ronove, do not doubt that in the slightest. The bride and groom's procession slowly advanced down the path to the grave and reached the altar. Though walking slowly was ceremonious and proper etiquette, it was also tiring. Erika glanced over at Battler. Of course, his eyes were blank. His heart was still inside that closed room. Once more, the sound of the Chester honor guards stamping their heels rang out loudly. Silence returned to the cathedral again. Now the wedding ceremony would finally begin. People live for the sake of love. Therefore today, you have fulfilled the purpose of your lives. Oh, how great is the power to live! The power of love! I pray that the brightness of this day blesses these two for all time! Come now, you who love one another, make the oath of love. In the place of the husband who cannot speak, let the wife make the oath on behalf of the pair. Battler swears to Erika, and Erika swears to Battler to support each other, both in sickness and in health. I didn't catch that part, Battler. If you have some objection, please say it a bit more clearly in a loud voice. Damn it. If you have anything further to say, please get yourself out of that logic error closed room first. Don't worry, I'll support you until that day comes. You have heard the pair's oath of love. Oh, let this oath be eternal. The thunderous applause celebrated their marriage of subordination. After the oath, they would symbolize the bond. It was the exchanging of the rings. The Territory Lord's ring with the one-winged eagle engraved on it that sat on Battler's finger would become Erika's. By this, she would become the ruler of this game board. And in exchange, Battler's finger would be given a diamond ring that Erika had prepared. At a glance, it just looked like a ring adorned by a large diamond. However, this cursed ring would force Battler into eternal subservience and mark him as another's property. Yes, let the pair exchange rings. Since the husband's fingers cannot move, let his wife support him. Erika respectfully took Battler's right hand, then slowly pulled off the Territory Lord's ring that had been on his ring finger. That was the ring Beato had entrusted him with. Erika stole it away. This is the ring that woman left behind, right? How does it feel to have that stolen away by a woman like me? Huh? I can't hear you. Please say it one more time. Go to hell. Oh, that. Well, then there's no need to worry, Battler. Erika pressed her lips up against Battler's earlobe as if biting it, and told him where they were. We're already there. Then, slowly, she took Beato's ring, which she had stolen from Battler, and slipped it onto her own left hand. And now, bride, you may give the groom your ring. That's one hell of a ring. A shackle that'll hold him in place for all time. Yeah, it's custom made. Even Battler's blank eyes could see the diamond ring Erika held. It was like Erika herself. On the outside, it shone beautifully, and possessed an absolute hardness that would bend to no one's will.
and on the inside, to symbolize never letting go of the prey it had latched onto. It had 8 sharp thorns pointing inward. Ooh, ouch. If they had been growing out of the outer side, it would have looked like the collar of a guard dog from hell. However, whoever heard of putting those on the inside? By twisting the diamond, those thorns could slide in or out. In other words, if you twisted it after thrusting the finger inside, the inward-facing thorns would bite down, never releasing until the end of time. That's giving me so many chills. Then, even his soul would be trapped, and his body, mind, and soul would be forced to serve Erika for all eternity. Are you kidding me? Who the hell would wear a ring like that? He couldn't even finish speaking that simple phrase. And furthermore, those awkward words were the only way he could resist. She raised Battler's left hand and stroked his ring finger as if tasting it. Weirdo. Erika pressed the ring of subordination against the tip of his finger. If a ring is made to fit too tightly, it can be painful and hard to take off. However, this ring was never intended to be removed for life anyway, so its inner band has been mercilessly narrowed. Even without the thorns, forcing a small ring like this on would hurt. This ring will seal up your body, heart, and soul for all eternity. And you'll become an eternal living doll. I won't even let you die. You'll be endlessly defiled and humiliated by me. And every time I forget to taste of victory, I'll use your body to remind me. Over and over again. If you've got the guts to bite off your tongue, now's the time. Once this goes on your finger, you won't even be able to do that. Battler didn't even have the strength to bite his tongue. Even if he had, he didn't want to give up before finding a way to escape the closed room, so he couldn't kill himself. However, if he accepted the ring, he would never be able to even think about escaping from the room, much less commit suicide. The whole thing about biting off your tongue now is giving me chills too. Don't do that. Stop it. No way. Look, I'm sticking your finger in. Out of context quotes. It hurts. It wasn't just the pain of having his finger forced through the tight ring. The curse of the ring fiercely tormented Battler's body from the inside. That pain would always torment Battler. But, fortunately, the power of the ring even stole away the heart that could understand that pain. Erika kept screwing that too small demon's ring on. It hurts. Oh boy. It's impossible. There's no way it'll fit. Don't worry. It will fit. No problem. With an obscene laugh, Erika let a silver thread drip from her mouth and soak the finger and the ring. Oh, gross. Please relax. We'll stick it in, all at once. Please don't resist uselessly. It'll hurt less if you don't resist, okay? You see? Now it's sliding right in. This is such a weird fucking scene out of context. Well, it's weird in context, too. No. Slowly, Battler's finger went deeper through the ring. Is this just intentional writing at this point? He was pushed through the iron ring of pain and humiliation, which would never be removed again. Come on. Look, okay? It's in all the way to the base. See? It hurts. It hurts. Take it off. The demon's ring tightened around the finger, so much that it seemed that the finger would snap off along with the bone. Could Battler's hazy expression of anguish really describe how unbearable this filthy pain was? Okay, now that it's on all the way, let's add the final touch, shall we? After this, you will be mine. Forever. Erika touched the ring's diamond knob. If she twisted it, the thorns would bite in and never let go again. No. Stop it. Sure. Just say, "Forgive me, Erika," and I'll stop. Really? Please forgive me, Erika. I swear to spend the rest of my life as your dog, with a collar around my neck, so at least spare me that ring. If you can say that, I won't make you wear the ring. Huh? I can't really hear you. I won't forgive you. I'll never forgive you. For making you suffer like this? No. I'll never forgive you for defiling Beato's ring. Though Battler's eyes had supposedly been forced into a muddled condition, they appeared strong for just an instant. However, it really was only for an instant. Battler had used up the last of his fleeting resistance, just to say those words. In his dim consciousness, he'd even bitten his own tongue to stay alert, so that he could say those words of resistance until the very end. Of course, it seems you aren't the kind of dog that can be tamed, but it's better that way. Erika smiled, then she turned to Diamond. In that instant, Battler let out a voiceless scream and threw his head back. His howl had no voice and could be heard by no one. However, it still rang out throughout the cathedral. Seriously? That's the end of the scene? Huh. That doesn't feel like a decent enough stopping point. And I've been uploading a few too many shorter episodes of this. So I guess I'll go a little bit longer. Not too much longer. At least to like 55 minutes, maybe an hour. I don't know. A dreary breeze blew through the golden rose garden. Shannon and Kanon had already finished walking 19 steps, their backs still facing each other. When the demons conducting the trial gave the signal, they would both turn and settle this. Each one had one of the dueling pistols given by the demons in their hands. The bullets promised certain death no matter where on the body they hit. This duel would not end until one of them died. George and Jessica just quietly watched the ones they loved. They had already entrusted all of their thoughts to them, as well as their fates. Just watching over their partners was now the only way they could show their trust. That's definitely a new sprite. And so is that, I think. Shannon and Kanon stood quietly, with their backs turned. They had already set aside the feelings they built up during all those days they'd known each other. The next time they laid eyes on the other, nothing would be asked of them except pulling that trigger. The only one who still couldn't muster any determination or resolve towards this duel was Beato. The closer that moment came, the less she understood. The love between George and Shannon wasn't standing in the way of the love between Jessica and Kanon, or vice versa. Why, when both sides could find happiness, were they being forced to kill each other? I don't understand. I just can't understand. Little sister, we are not permitted to do anything but watch. Zipar, Furfur, why this duel? This is no trial of love. You really are demons. You just want to enjoy watching one of the pairs fall apart, don't you? I'm assuming this is happening before the wedding, right? Silence. You'll get in the way of the lovers. You're the ones getting in their way. One will fall. The one who loves that person will grieve. If only you two weren't around, no one would be sad. That is not true. I guess there's probably just a tumbleweed outside. If we hadn't set up this duel, then both pairs would have fallen apart. This duel is necessary. I haven't been able to accept that since the beginning. You say their love can't be successful without a miracle of magic? What does love need other than two people who love each other? This duel is meaningless. So stop it, you two! Shannon and Kanon both! Why must you fight each other to the death when you were once as close as true siblings? I just can't understand.
Everyone should have been able to hear Beatrice yell. However, no one's expression changed.
That's right. I'm impressed that you noticed. This is love's truth. What is? Normally, love needs nothing more than two people who love each other. Therefore, when there aren't two people, we must use a duel to make that number become 2.
Yep, they're the same person.
I could understand if it were a duel between two people fighting over one woman. If it were a duel to cut 3 people in love down to 2. But here we have 2 pairs of people. The world formed by each pair is complete, isn't it? There's nothing compelling them to fight.
Except George and Jessica basically are fighting over one person.
The minimum number of people that can create a world is 2. A world can only be born, love can only be fulfilled, when 2 people gather. That's why this duel is necessary, so that they can get up to that number of people. Are you saying that furniture is subhuman, so they don't count as a single person?
Exactly. Furniture is subhuman. That's why furniture and a human cannot add up to 2 people. Okay.
That's insane. Status has nothing to do with it if both of them love each other.
No, it does.
Do you really think that the status of a pair of lovers doesn't matter? Is a man who has a wife allowed to love someone else? Is a woman who has a husband allowed to love someone else? Are you allowed to fall in love with your parents? Are you allowed to fall in love with your children? There aren't many situations where status makes love... There are many situations where status makes love unallowable. Then just what is furniture? Why mustn't furniture fall in love?
There's only one set of quotations over there. Because their soul is less than a single person.
Shannon, Kanon, and of course the piece that you are. All of you are furniture. Subhuman beings who possess less than a single person's soul. To be qualified to love a human, you need only one thing. The possession of a single person's soul. That's why a pair in love can create a world.
Is that implying that Beatrice is a third, for lack of a better word, personality to Shannon and Kanon? Because then that would make more sense, I guess.
For example, do you think a man with a wife has the right to love another woman? Of course not. If he loved 2 women, neither would get a full person's worth of love. A man such as that would be unworthy of love. See? There are plenty of statuses in humans who have no right to love a person. As long as both people feel love, nothing else matters? That's just a hypocrisy of naive love. We cannot forgive humans who falsely pretend that they have the right to love. We cannot forgive the love of subhuman beings, of those who don't make up the minimum number of people required to create a world.
That is the purpose of our trial. It is to let the sinful souls regain a complete soul and become capable of true love. Okay, so basically, 2 people are needed. Minimum. Okay. Is that also maximum? I'd assume so. Because it's like, oh, if a man is in love with 2 women, he's unworthy of love. Whatever. I'm assuming they just mean 2 in general. I don't know which one of these 2 is talking. Well, I guess it's the same person talking no matter what. So what's it matter? Zipar. Furfur. Oh, that was Shannon, okay. Our hearts are ready.
Please, give the signal to start the duel.
Oh, both of them said that. The pair bidding farewell quietly asked for the signal to be given. Zipar nodded silently, then walked to a place that could be seen by both of them. Furfur spoke in a quiet voice, a voice quiet enough to avoid distracting the 2 duelists.
Watch. Watch the duel to see which of the lovers will fall apart? No, this isn't a duel to see who falls apart. This is a duel to make true love succeed. I don't understand what you two are saying. No, you must understand. This marks the birth of a human who can truly love another. I don't understand. No matter which wins, please support them. Right now, their days as furniture will end. The signal is simple. I will count to 3. When I reach 3, the duel will commence. Understood. Same here. If both miss, the duel will be temporarily suspended. You'll be given bullets again and will start over from the beginning with your backs to each other. I guess it'll repeat until it's all settled. Zepar, have you seen this sort of duel many times in the past? Of course. I've seen many of them. Usually, how many times do they need to face off before it's over? In almost all cases, it's decided in the first round. They must all be really good shots! That's not it. If one side misses, the other can corner them at their leisure and shoot. If the first bullet misses, then you've lost your chance at victory. However, if you take too long, you lose before you can even pull the trigger. If you're going to lose anyway, you'd at least want to have pulled the trigger first. Your resolve is good, you two. Then, let's go. Oh boy. So, which one's gonna die, if any? Well, at least one has to. Otherwise, they'll just repeat it. Which one will die? Or will both? I'd say both, but I feel like that's like the obvious answer, and this game loves to trick us. 1. 2. 3. Oh boy. In the Golden Rose Garden, when the number 3 was yelled, the sound of gunfire rang out once. Even the people watching couldn't tell whether that was a single gun firing, or the sound of both going off at the same time. Oh, okay. Okay, you're just gonna instantly show us it. I thought it was gonna be super dramatic. Unless Shannon ducked? I don't fucking know. In the midst of the stench of gunpowder and white smoke, there, with gun raised and smoke trailing the barrel, was Kanon. And, lying on the earth, was Shannon. Shannon? No. Shannon fell before the gun fired. Gah! Jessica's distressed expression was enough to explain what had happened. Yep, Shannon just ducked under it. Yep. Slowly, Shannon stood up. There was no bullet wound anywhere on her body. At the time of the signal, Shannon had thrown herself to the ground, dodging the bullet. It had been a bet. If Kanon had turned around and taken the time to aim carefully before shooting, then he would have shot her as she lay there. However, if Kanon shot as soon as he turned around, she would be able to dodge it. Kanon had also made a bet. He did not underestimate Shannon's skill with a firearm. He was fully aware that, if he assumed Shannon would be timid enough to let him shoot first, he would lose before even pulling the trigger. So, he had decided to shoot right away. And, he had predicted that when he shot, Shannon would reflexively pull the trigger too. Since he intended to shoot right away, he would be more mentally prepared, so he was confident that he'd be able to shoot accurately. If Kanon had cautiously turned around and Shannon had shot instantly with the strength of her will, then Kanon wouldn't even have been able to pull the trigger. So, no impatience on Kanon's part was to blame here. The two had simply given it their all, left their fates to the heavens, and reached this result. I didn't imagine that my quick-tempered sister wouldn't shoot at all.
I'm surprised too, to think that old, prudent Kanon would shoot as soon as he turned.
As Shannon quietly pointed the barrel at him, she slowly walked forward. She planned on cautiously closing the gap until she reached a distance from which she could hit with even more certain accuracy. And Kanon, had already lost any means of fighting back. He could only try to dodge Shannon's bullet and place his bet on the second round. If they both fought this, then what happened next would turn that assumption on its head. This isn't over yet! Kanon dashed forward like a tornado, bent over so low that he was almost crawling over his shadow. This duel could only be settled by a bullet, but he wasn't the only one who had a bullet. If he could steal Shannon's gun away from her, he could turn this fight around. Oh, yeah, that's true. And if Shannon calmly shot through Kanon, it would end. The odds that Shannon would miss, or that he could get close enough to her before she fired, Kanon would bet all the chips he had on them. Shannon could draw Kanon in until the last second, then shoot him from a closer distance. If she pulled the trigger just before he reached her, then even if she missed, they would just start again from the beginning. Shannon kept her gun pointing at Kanon's forehead as she compared these options until the final moment. She led her shot, calculating the distance he had already moved and the time it would take to pull the trigger. The Goddess of Fortune smiles impartially. Ah!
No!
Surviving past the final moment Shannon could have shot, Kanon barreled into her chest. He then swung his hand up and knocked the gun Shannon held into the air. That strike sent Shannon's gun flying into the sky. At the same time, Kanon's gun also flew from his hand and danced through the air. The two guns danced a rondo through the sky, reached their peak, and began to fall. By that time, neither knew whose gun was which. The two guns were exactly the same. Everything about them was identical. There was no way to tell them apart. However, there was one difference. Only one of them had a bullet inside. The pair raised their hands to the sky, trying to grasp their fate, their miracle. It was as though they were trying to grasp the wings of a descending angel of miracles. The pair looked up at the brilliant sky, and entrusted everything to the Goddess of Fortune. Then, they each grabbed one of the guns out of the air, and after dancing a momentary rondo, their arms crossed each other. Oh boy. Even that had been like a dance. Then, they each pressed the barrel of their gun up against the other's forehead, both as steady as a rock. Even they could not know which gun held the bullet. When they both pressed the triggers, one would die and one would remain alive. The match would end. George and Jessica wouldn't know the results until that moment came. However, was it really impossible for the two holding the guns to know? The muzzle of Kanon's gun, which had already been fired, must have been warm, and the muzzle of the other gun, which Shannon hadn't fired, should have been ice cold. So perhaps the pair of them did realize which gun was which, and yet both expressions were solemn, the faces of those who would believe in their fate unswervingly until the moment the triggers were pulled.
Don't be sad. We'll meet again soon, in the Golden Land.
We should have done this much sooner.
If only we had, our reunion could have been avoided entirely.
It's alright. Considering what day this is, even this duel is just a farce.
You're right. If we're just going to revive in the Golden Land anyway, it really is just a farce.
And I'll see you later.
Yeah, you too.
So long. Oh boy. So who was it? Oh, fuck you! Okay, well, I think that was a long enough transition then. And if I keep on going, I probably won't be able to, find another good stopping point for an hour and a half, given how this game likes to be sometimes. So, this might be a bit of a cliffhanger ending, but it is for me too, so whatever. That's gonna be it for this episode, guys. If you liked it, be sure to press the like button, and if you didn't like it, then fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!